Thanks for clicking on to the 10th edition of the Global Weather and Climate Report. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of August. Hope everybody is well. Looking at the July rainfall deficit across the British Isles, and it was stark, that's for sure. While we had a little bit above normal actually across the far northwest of Scotland, the grand theme has been on the dry side, and we'll continue with this long-term trend of drier than normal conditions across the UK, indicative, I believe, of the multi-year La Nina, the low solar activity, the warm Atlantic, and other aspects that are going into bringing this sustained period of dry conditions. But if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. I do look at the long-term trends, and I am a believer that we are going to see a change taking place over the next 12 to 18 months. We could see a flip around big time. We've seen it back in 2009, 10 and 11, where we've seen a 3-year spell of abnormally dry conditions. That was indicative of a multi-year La Nina and low solar activity. But as we start to ascend out of the minimum towards the maximum, the prospects increase of an El Nino developing. I think we're going to turn things around big time. So if you're a farmer or somebody that depends on the weather for a livelihood, please continue to check out markfoganweather.com and right here on my YouTube channel, because we will look at this scenario as we go forward. I think we're going to see a change taking place even into the autumn coming up. So watch this space. But certainly very dry. Driest July on record for the southern half of the British Isles. You can see here these angry looking brown colours here, indicative of very little to no recorded rainfall during the month of July. And that is going to be the case, by the way, through much of August, I think. But towards the end of the month, I think there is hope there. By the way, this is interesting. What a stark contrast to what we're seeing at the moment across the south of England, where I'm sure many people will be desperate to see a good old soaking rain. This was the scene actually in Iran, Oman. We had the United Arab Emirates, for example, Qatar. We had a lot more rainfall during the month of July here than we did in the British Isles, which is pretty amazing stuff, actually. An area that sees literally no rain during the May through September time period here. You can't buy rain in this part of the world, and yet we've seen flooding conditions, disruption to oil production. We've seen newly built roads in Iran getting washed away. Just amazing stuff. Crazy, bizarre world of weather that we live with at this moment in time. Looking at the current 2-meter temperature anomalies globally, and you can see here that we are running 0.3 degrees above normal across the planet at the moment, 0.7 above normal in the northern hemisphere, 0.1 below normal in the southern hemisphere, the Arctic nearly a degree above normal, the Antarctic minus 1.3, and it's plus 3 Celsius above normal across the Arctic region here. Plenty of hotspots to speak about. The hotspots certainly outweighing the cold at the moment. Much of Canada, you notice today, below normal. Alaska warm. We've got a fairly cold Greenland. And really, this is a noteworthy situation here across Greenland. While, of course, we've had such a warm summer, a dry summer, a high-pressure dominated summer across much of the UK and across much of Europe, we've actually had a very persistent trough over Greenland. That has been sustaining colder than normal conditions up here. And, it's very interesting even seeing the increase in the surface mass budget, the snow pack increasing during the summertime. This seems to be a trend, I think. When we see these warm summers down within the mid-latitudes, we're actually seeing Greenland fare better during the summertime than sometimes during the winter time. It depends on, of course, the AO and the NAO, depending on whether it's positive or negative. But it's interesting nonetheless. Colder than normal across Scandinavia and across Ukraine, up towards the Baltic states here. Very warm across much of the continent, and that is going to be the theme. And of course, we've got central Russia below normal, with both west and east warmer than normal. China warm. We've got warmer than normal across India as well. Interesting, the persistency and cool across northwest India and Pakistan, where we've seen record breaking rainfall here. Australia, very warm if you notice here, which is quite interesting also. But certainly the month of August has started off cooler than normal across much of the UK, as you can see here, off CDAS, warm across Iberia, France, Belgium, southern portions of the Netherlands, Germany, central and southern portions of Europe here warmer than normal. We've got quite a lot of cooler than normal across eastern and central Poland, down into Romania, Moldova. If you notice here, western portions of Ukraine is colder than normal overall. But looking at the month of July, and of course it has been, as well as being very dry, it has also been very warm as well, if I can bring it up. Now, the areas, of course, of the UK that's seen above normal rainfall, the far northwest corner, for example, notice here it was actually an average July, really from about Dumfries and Galloway up through Lochaber, Argyll, and the West Highlands here. It looks as if we've had close to an average type of July here, with weather systems always close by. But of course, a strong area of high pressure over the near continent extending into the southern half of the UK has brought increased heat and drought across the north of France, Low Countries, and much of England, as well as Wales and Ireland also here. So looking at the planetary view here for the month of July, as you can see, and it has been, if I can get the right chart, you can see here, interestingly enough, 0.3 above normal for the month of July. Cooler normal across Australia. Quite a large area of cool across Africa, which is quite interesting. Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, Central Russia. We've had it over eastern portions of Canada, Ontario and Quebec below normal, and of course across the UK and southwestern portions of Europe, it has been above normal. Looking at the upcoming 5 days here, this is off the GFS ensemble. This is the 850 millibar temperature anomaly chart here, representative of the type of air mass that we're dealing with. Now, of course, today still hot, humid, 29, 30 degrees across the southeast of the UK, but we're seeing a cold front sinking south, losing a lot of its moisture as it heads towards the driest areas of the UK, i.e. from the Wash down to New Hampshire, I was going to say, down to Hampshire and Dorset. We've got a lot of heat still here, and of course, as that frontal system moves into really tender, dry soils, the evaporation rate actually increases because we have got such a lack of moisture in the ground. Really, as that moisture then pushes south into that drier environment, it just sucks the moisture out of the atmosphere, so to speak. So we're really going to see very little in the way of rainfall across the far southeast of the British Isles. But what it is doing is it's introducing fresher air, and that will be a welcome relief. I know there is folks down in the south of England, eastern England, that are writing in the comments saying, fed up of this heat, humidity, uncomfortable for sleeping. Totally understand that. It has been quite warm. It's been sticky as well. Even where temperatures, by the way, in the northwest has been, only 18 to 21 Celsius, you can really feel quite a stickiness in the atmosphere. So you're not getting that true fresh relief in terms of off the Atlantic, but you're still holding on to that humidity. But certainly over the next 5 days, below normal temperatures across the UK, as you can see here. Warmth kind of focused over mainland Europe. It's really the Channel and the Dover Straits that separate fresh Atlantic air with hot, humid continental air, if you notice here. But we see a big change taking place. High pressure builds into the UK towards this weekend, and then it's all eyes on next week, because if you notice here, the 6 to 10 indicates 850s go well above normal at the 5,000 foot level here. And tomorrow I will hone in once again on that prospect of heat very, very hot conditions building out of the south towards the UK. Man-Julian oscillation progressing eastwards. We've got large-scale enhanced sinking within the atmosphere over the Atlantic and over the UK. That is going to focus and allow the ingredients to come together, similar to what we've seen back in the middle portion of July when that extreme heat surge came out of the south. I'm not saying we're going to 40 by any stretch, but we could knock on the door of 36 to 38 Celsius next week if everything comes together. And we'll keep an eye on that certainly right here on the channel. So keep tuned to that, folks. 11 to 15 day, you can see here that we're still above normal at the 850 level. And I think warmer and drier than normal is going to be the theme. What is the precipitation forecast according to the model? Upcoming 7-day period looks like this here. So we've got drier than normal across the UK and across central portions of Europe. The 6 to 12 remains drier than normal, and even the 10 to 16 day looks drier than normal overall. But let's have a look at the CFSV2 monthlies, and you can see here that it's hinting at wetter than normal. But even from yesterday's run, it's slightly pulling back on that scenario. So we'll have to keep an eye on that certainly over the next wee while or so. But thanks for watching. I do appreciate it as always. Hope everybody is having a good Wednesday, a happy hump day to everybody. Please like, share, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications of each video. Have a great day. Bye for now.